Hi everybody, this is Renee back with some more information on identity theft issues. Today we're going to be talking about credit card fraud and basically credit and debit card fraud. So this is the most common one everybody thinks of. You know, your credit card information gets out there and somebody goes ahead and chooses to use your good credit to make up for what they lack in terms of their own credit. You want to make sure to keep that from happening. And here's a good couple of tips on having to do with that. So when you receive new authorized cards in the mail, you want to go ahead and flip it over to the back and write on the back, "Please see photo ID," instead of signing. So that'll encourage the people when they swipe the card to go ahead and check and make sure that your ID matches your name on the card, and at the very least, you know, you got that match going on, rather than, you know, Susie Ann going in and using my card and not having the proper ID. They'll be able to catch that, hopefully. You want to choose a unique PIN. Avoid using dates of birth for you or your family, which actually I've been kind of a bad example of, but I'm changing my ways on. Don't use street addresses or any portion of your social security number, because that just goes ahead and puts out further information about you when they go ahead and gather that. And you want to memorize the number, but don't write it down, and never share your PIN with anybody, because, you know, that's why Judge Judy has so many cases in her court for things like that. You don't want to give out your PIN to anybody. You don't want to let anybody else use your credit card. That's just common sense, I think. Password protect the demographic information on your existing accounts to prevent unauthorized users from changing that information or adding themselves as an authorized user to your account. I personally, when I call my bank and I ask for information regarding my account, I do have a personal password on there so that they know that it's me, and that I know that nobody else knows how to go ahead and get a hold of that password. They can get your name, they can get your address, they can get your phone number, they can even get your social security number and driver's license number. But if you give a personal password, they're not necessarily going to be able to get that. Watch your cards during the transactions that you have, and get the card back as quickly as possible. Now, I think we've all been a little bit lax in that at times. I know I have, especially when you go to a networking event where, you know, you have a whole bunch of people paying for lunch at the same time, and, you know, you don't necessarily get that credit card back as quickly as possible because they've got a huge stack of cards to run, and that can actually not only cause inadvertent errors in charges, but it also can create an opportunity for fraud, and you just want to go ahead and try as best as possible to avoid those kind of situations. When you're using your PIN number, you want to go ahead and try to shield your PIN number with your hand or by some other method to make sure that somebody who's standing behind you can't necessarily make out the numbers that you're pressing on the keypad. You want to keep only the credit card and debit cards that you are planning on using in your wallet. Put the rest away in a safe box somewhere where they're going to be protected and not accessible to everybody, so that if your wallet gets stolen, not all of your information is out there and used. You want to keep credit and debit cards separate from personal identifying documents such as your driver's license. This can be a little hard because we want to keep our driver's license in our wallet, and we want to keep our debit cards, our credit cards in our wallet as well. But just go ahead and try to separate them out a little bit. Maybe get yourself a little driver's license holder that you can keep in your wallet next to or keep in your purse if you're a lady, and next to your wallet. For men, this is going to be a little bit harder. I'm sure that if you look up on the internet, if you Google it, there's probably some suggestions as to how to do that. Maybe you keep your driver's license in your left pocket and your wallet in your right. But try to keep that kind of thing different. That way it'll prevent a thief from obtaining additional information that can be used with your card to go ahead and get access to account information. Don't provide account information to anyone who contacts you over the phone. If you're purchasing a mail order item, verify the company is legitimate by checking the Better Business Bureau, okay? Better Business Bureau is one of the best organizations you can check with just to make sure that you're dealing with a reputable company. Open your billing and banking statements promptly for review to make sure that there's nothing on them that shouldn't be, and that's the easiest way to make sure that no fraud is occurring. You want to go ahead and make sure you do that as quickly as you can get them. And the sooner you find out that there's fraud, the sooner you can go ahead and have it taken care of. You want to save your receipts so that you can compare them against your monthly statement if necessary, because I know I forget sometimes that I've made some transactions and then I'm like, what is that? Wait, which one was that? When did I do that? So you want to go ahead and save those receipts, and once you get that statement, go ahead and go over them and then shred the whole thing. If you are using a paper check to pay for a credit card bill, do not write the full card number on the check. The last 4 digits of the credit card number will be sufficient for the creditor to connect the check to the account. So keep that in mind. If you're writing your whole account number on the memo line of your check, that's probably not the best situation. So you want to go ahead and shorten that to the last 4 numbers. Cancel old and active accounts you don't currently use, because otherwise what's going to happen is that people are going to get a hold of those numbers by happenstance, whatever have you, and then they're going to go ahead and use those, and since they're not really active accounts for you, you're not going to necessarily be up and thinking about them and reviewing them for fraud, and that's just an open opportunity to go ahead and continue fraudulently using your credit. Changes in address should be followed up with a phone call to verify that they've got the correct address for you. So if you're moving, call all of your creditors, make sure that they have your proper address, and if they did, you want to call them after you've gone ahead and written in and changed the address, okay? Just to verify. You want to make sure that all your billing comes to the right address. Otherwise, you're not going to have the opportunity to review that billing. You're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities to catch fraud. Keep records of your credit and debit cards in a secure place. Like I said, lockbox, that kind of thing. You want to go ahead and make sure that those records are clean and secure and only available to the people who need to use them, and that should only be you. Shred credit card and bank statements before discarding them. Don't leave them open and ready for somebody else to go digging through the trash for. That's if they can make their money doing that, if they can make their money going through and digging through trash to go ahead and get bank account numbers, that's what they're going to do. These people, they're looking to go ahead and defraud people, so they're going to do it by any means necessary. So you want to go ahead and make sure you don't give them the opportunity. You want to shred all documents that contain important bank account information and credit card information before they go into the trash. And then you want to keep all cards, checkbooks, statements, and account information in a secure location. Just as we were mentioning before, lockbox, even one of those bank boxes, that kind of thing. You want to go ahead and make sure it's all secure. So hopefully this has been a little bit of information for you to think about, and thank you for joining.